Hi, thank you for joining me today. My name is Karen Whittemore. I am a family nurse practitioner. I've been in practice for 25 years now. And in all of my time of practice, I have never quite seen anything like the X39 technology from LifeWave. And over the next few minutes, I'm going to share some of the science behind it, how it works, why you might be interested in taking advantage of this for yourself. And first of all, I would like to share a story from Martha. So Martha was a retired postal worker at the age of 62. So she had been practicing as a postal worker for a long time, but she had such severe health problems that she was forced into early retirement due to all of her health challenges. She had lots of inflammation in her body, bone on bone in her feet. She had swelling and poor circulation. She kept getting bouts of cellulitis in both of her legs, had severe pain and dizziness. And she had cortisone shots in her feet, which really weren't helping. She also had surgery to try to fix the circulation in her legs, hoping that that would get rid of the pain, and that did not get rid of the pain. She still had the symptoms. She also had diabetes and suffered from diabetic neuropathy. She had that pins and needles sensation just constantly, and she said it was just horrible to live with, and she had limited mobility. She said it was a struggle just to move from the bedroom to the kitchen. It was a challenge. And even to raise her arm above her head to just brush her hair was difficult for her to do. She couldn't enjoy the activities she used to enjoy, like hiking and participating in her family's outdoor activities. And she decided to try some different things. Since medicine was not giving her the answers, she went to bentonite clay packing and found that helped a little bit. She was getting some relief with her pain, but she still had all of her problems. She went and saw a cranial sacral therapist and said that she did get more relief from her pain, but she was still having all these mobility issues. Well, at that time, in her right eye, she had a varicose vein in her blood vessel that ruptured, causing near blindness in her right eye. And the cranial sacral therapist had heard about the patches and suggested, hey, why don't you try using the X39? So she started patching it right over her right temple. And she says that after using the X39 for 2 days, she noticed that her nose just suddenly cleared up all the congestion that was there. And she didn't even realize that she even had any congestion. She just wasn't used to having it be open. And that really got her attention. And she decided to do some research. She looked into it and decided after 5 days that, you know what, I'm going to go all in. And she decided to buy what we call a diamond kit, which is filled with a whole bunch of different patches, and started using first the X39 and the Ice Wave pain patches to try to get some relief. And then after about a week of doing that, she decided, you know what? I need to do something more than that, and decided to do a protocol called the Rebalance Protocol. And if any of you are interested in learning more about the Rebalance Protocol, ask the person who invited you here today and they can give you more information about that. But after using the Rebalance Protocol, within about 4 weeks, she started noticing that the carpal tunnel went away. After 6 weeks, she all of a sudden had the pain, a lot of her pain issues went away, and she had 80% of her mobility go back, and the swelling in her legs was just gone. It took longer for the neuropathy to go away, but she said that after 4 months of doing the protocol, the neuropathy went completely away. So she was just so grateful and couldn't believe that she was suddenly getting her life back. She also went to the dentist and had 3 teeth that he had been watching. And she said that at that appointment, he kept on looking so confused and kept on looking at the x-ray and comparing x-ray to x-ray and looking in her mouth, and was shocked that all 3 of her teeth had suddenly gone back to normal. And she said she hadn't changed her diet or any of her other activities. Everything else was the same. The only thing that had changed was doing the patches. She also noticed that her hair was coming in thicker. And when she went to the eye doctor, her right eye vision hadn't returned, but her left eye, which was 20/60 vision, had gone down to 20/20, which is normal. So that was pretty phenomenal, hearing her story. And she noticed that within the first week of just using the X39, before she started using all of the other patches, her vision became so much more vivid. She said the colors were more vibrant. So the next picture is her getting back on her feet and hiking for the first time in years. So she's the one in the very back, but you can see that this is a very steep incline. And she was able to get all the way up to the top. So the next picture shows her here at the top of the summit, and she's with other people. She's the one that's second to the right side. And then we have another photograph. So you can see how high these mountains are, and you can imagine how much of a climb this would have had to have been. So going from being barely able to move from the bathroom to the kitchen, to all of a sudden being able to climb and go on such a hike and spend time with the people that she enjoys, and being able to enjoy her family, doing these types of activities again, this was a thrill for her. So my question for you is, have you been patched yet? So I have been wearing the X39 patch now for about 3 years. So how would you like to elevate, activate, and regenerate your body's own stem cells? Experience a level of health and vitality that you have not experienced since you were in your youth. Imagine having no pain, sleeping through the night, having more energy, and reversing aging. So these things are actually possible. This is not science fiction, and we'll talk a little bit about the science here. As we age, we tend to lose our stem cells. So by the time we are age 60, the stem cells in our body show very little activity. They are becoming slower and are releasing less of the growth factors that are needed to repair our body. And by the time we are in our mid-70s, we are showing almost no stem cell activity at all. And that's why older people have such a difficult time healing from injury. We have fewer stem cells, and we heal slower. Hundreds and millions of people are experiencing aging like myself. I am 57 years old, and I was starting to notice that I was having major issues with my sleep. I was waking about every 1 to 2 hours to get up and pee during the night. I noticed that my eyes were getting thin underneath the eyelids, and I noticed that my hair was having recession. And of course, we don't like these vanity things. So I wanted to do something about it. Now, before I go on, LifeWave does have a disclaimer. LifeWave products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or medical condition. Always consult with a physician or other qualified healthcare provider before embarking on a new treatment, product use, diet, or fitness program. So that being said, this little patch is not healing you. What it is it's giving your body a tool so that your body can make the repairs that it has been wanting to make for years. So how does the X39 work? It is actually frequency medicine. It's the holy grail of reverse aging. It increases a certain peptide called copper peptide. It's made of organic nanocrystals, and the LifeWave X39 patch elevates that peptide, copper peptide, for the activation of stem cells. It's clinically proven to enhance overall health and vitality. Albert Einstein, in his day, said that frequency medicine would be the future of medicine. And this is a perfect example of frequency medicine. So imagine going out in the sun, having all the wonderful sunlight hit you. There are certain frequencies in that sunlight that when it hits your skin, it gives your body a signal to start producing vitamin D. The sunlight is not giving you vitamin D. It's telling your body, hey, it's time to start making vitamin D. And it's the same principle, which is how the patch works. We are light beings. We are constantly emitting light, even though we don't necessarily see it unless we're wearing night vision goggles. When we use those, what we're seeing is that far infrared light, which we see as it's in the spectrum of light that we feel as heat. So that light hits the patch, gets infused with a frequency, spins back into your skin, giving your body the signal to produce copper peptide, and in turn, the stem cells get activated. But just the copper peptide alone has some dramatic, wonderful benefits. So this is what the National Institutes of Health has to say. This is a government website. They say that copper peptide stimulates blood vessel and nerve outgrowth and increases collagen and elastin for visible anti-aging. GHK's ability to improve tissue repair has been demonstrated for skin, lung connective tissue, bony tissue, liver, and stomach lining. Copper peptide has also been found to possess powerful cell productive actions such as multiple anti-cancer activities and anti-inflammatory actions, as well as having anti-anxiety, anti-pain, and anti-aggression activities. And it goes on with other things, but these are just a few of the major benefits that copper peptide can provide for people. So who came up with this? Our inventor, founder, and CEO is David Schmidt. He has over 130 US patents, and 70 of them are just in regenerative medicine alone. He is a scientist and an inventor and a two-time recipient of the Advanced Technology Award from the International Hall of Fame. He's received other awards, but these two are pretty significant. So he first came up with this when he was working with the government, trying to help the Navy SEALs to be able to stay awake for 30 hours in a mini sub without using harsh chemicals or drugs. That's when he came up with the idea. And after spending 4 years, he developed the first prototype, the Energy Enhancer Patch. So at that time, 9/11 happened, and that took the focus away from this mission to keep Navy SEALs awake into different things, which turned out to be a blessing. And David Schmidt realized, hey, I've got something here. The world needs access to this. And he came up with the company LifeWave. And in the first year, this was back in 2004, that company generated $17 million with just their first year using the Energy Enhancer Patch. So this company has been around for 20 years. It has exclusively protected multiple patents, over 80 research and clinical studies. Independent researchers and universities, medical and scientific experts have looked into this. And this is just one of the experiments that really has caught my eye. This is a brain scan of a 77-year-old female. So this is a brain mapping. And you can see on the right side that the higher the voltage of the brain, the more into the red zone you go with the color. And you can see in her first session, before using the X39 at all, she has a lot of inflammation, a very overactive, overstimulated brain, and is probably an anxious person. After 3 weeks of using this patch, her brain is suddenly much more calm. And after 6 weeks, she maintains that calmness. So that's pretty impressive, especially when you consider that at the age of 77, she should have almost little to no stem cell activity. So even though there's hardly any stem cells there, we were able to activate and regenerate them using the X39 patch so that she was able to get these types of benefits. So this is a company with unique products. And if anybody is looking for a business opportunity, it's an ideal time to get in because this is still very new. And the patent, you can't get a patent unless you do what you say you're going to do. This patent says that it does elevate copper peptide and activates stem cells. And we do have clinical studies that show that within 7 days, your copper peptide is dramatically increased. So this is really exciting. What are the benefits that you might expect with the X39 technology? Well, some of the things that they've shown in their studies are rapid pain relief. It reduces inflammation. In fact, there are studies that show within 24 hours of putting on the patch, you have a reduction of inflammation. It supports wound healing, supports energy and vitality. There's mental clarity. It enhances sports performance and faster recovery from exercise, and of course, improved skin appearance. So I noticed about 3 months after I started using the patch that I started getting more plumpness again under my eye tissue. My receding hairline on the sides was filling in again. I also right away started noticing improvements with my sleep, and now sleep very good. I do get up once to pee, but I drink a lot of water right before bedtime. So I'm cool with that, and I go right back to sleep. What's happening in your body with the first use of the X39? Within the first few days, there are 4,000 genes that begin to reset. And that's a third of your genome. And within 6 weeks, the brain becomes more balanced. Within 3 months, your collagen is increased. So that means decreased wrinkles and hair growth increases, but also there's increases in the structural integrity of both your skeletal and muscular systems. So the outside is nice, but you really want a lot of healing happening on the inside, and that is happening. And within 6 months, there is heart reversal in aging. So they did this study with 14 out of 15 people showing that they lowered their vascular age by an average of 8 years after using the X39 for just 6 months. That is incredible. Cardiovascular disease is still the #1 killer. So anything that we can do to help with our cardiovascular health is important. And so everybody, in my opinion, needs something like this. And as David Schmidt says, it's not anti-aging, it's age reversing. So how blessed are we to have access to this? And how can you learn more information about it? Well, we do have a website. It's called yourteaminmotion.com. You can write it down, check it out, yourteaminmotion.com. It has testimonials. It has information about the patches. It also has business training. So it has lots of information you can browse through and check it out. Thank you once again for joining me today. There are different ways that you can get access and get started on the X39. Talk to the person who invited you here today. They can tell you how to save $50 on it, and they can help you to decide whether it would be more economical for you or a better situation for you to become a preferred customer or a brand partner, especially if you enjoy sharing with people you might be interested in becoming a brand partner. But anyone can have access to this technology. It is available for us all. Thank you again, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.